In John chapter 20, verse 17, Jesus tells Mary not to touch him until he presents himself to the Father. By this, did he mean that physical touch could contaminate his righteous offering to God?
That's a very interesting question. There's a lot of theological debate on it. The reason is because a lot of these statements in the Bible do not come with explanation. So you don't have footnotes in the Bible to say, by the way, this is why he told Mary not to do that. You have to look at the entirety of Scripture to try to make sense of why that instruction. But the important thing to note is that everything Jesus said and did was purposeful. Jesus had 33 years on earth and 3.5 years in ministry. He didn't have time for making a statement that was of no effect, frivolous. He didn't do anything purposelessly. Everything Jesus did was demonstrating something. And that is why even simple statements like that has to be taken seriously. Why did he say, don't touch me? The word that is used in the Gospel of John, if we translate it now, it is not touch in terms of tapping somebody, but touch in terms of holding on to somebody, cling. Okay. So what Jesus was saying is, don't cling on to me, because Mary had just seen the resurrected Lord, and the natural impulse is to hold on to him because he was gone once, I don't want him to go again. And Jesus says, don't hold on to me. Now, some people have interpreted that to mean that Jesus simply says, don't hold on to me now. In a sense, relax. That's what he said. But that meaning cannot be interpreted in the full context of the statement Jesus made. Because Jesus says, don't hold on to me now because I have not ascended to your Father, to my Father. But you go and tell the disciples to go on ahead and I will meet them. So, if Jesus wanted to meet the disciples there and then, he would just have gone with Mary to go and meet them. If he meant that don't touch me simply means don't hold on to me, then the next statement doesn't make sense, because he's given a reason why Mary shouldn't hold on to him. So there is a firm belief that between that time and the time Jesus went to meet the rest of the disciples, something happened. And there is a considered view that Jesus Christ at that time went to show himself to the Father. He would do that later at his ascension, but he went to show himself to his Father and present the offering of himself to the Father, and then come back to meet with the disciples. So it's a bit uncertain because there is no footnote in the Bible to say exactly this is what happened. You have to look at statements in the Bible, especially in the book of Hebrews, that says Jesus Christ presented his blood to the heavenly Holy of Holies. At what point did he do that? Of course, not on the cross. So somewhere between his resurrection and his ascension, he had presented himself to the Father. And so it is believed that Jesus Christ in that period supernaturally presented himself to the Father. Now, some people have argued against that and say, well, it's not possible, because people see heaven as a location. And so when they say Jesus is going to present himself to the Father, they see him levitating and going through the clouds and passing galaxies and somewhere in some planetary system, maybe is heaven. And so how could he go and come? Heaven is a dimension. And so you can be in heaven in 1 second and earth the next second. So Jesus, when he says, I have to show myself to the Father, doesn't mean I'm traveling. It's just a spiritual statement to say, I have to enter this dimension and let the Father know the price has been paid. The blood is sprinkled on the altar, and then he comes on to talk to his disciples.